Hi, everybody. Today I want to talk about false prophets. And there are many, 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 many false prophets in our world today. And maybe you don't even recognize them, but they're here. And I want to read to you from Ezekiel, where God is warning the people through Ezekiel about listening to false prophets. And we do a lot of listening to false prophets today. I'll talk about that in a minute. But it's from Ezekiel chapter 13, starting at verse 1. And it says this: Then this message came to me from the Lord. Son of man, that's the word that God gives to Ezekiel, prophesy against the false prophets of Israel, who are inventing their own prophecies. Say to them, listen to the word of the Lord. This is what the sovereign Lord says. What sorrow awaits the false prophet, or false prophets, who are following their own imaginations and have seen nothing at all. O people of Israel, these prophets of yours are like jackals digging in the ruins. They have done nothing to repair the breaks in the walls around the nation. They have not helped it to stand firm in the battle of the day of the Lord. Instead, they have told lies and made false predictions. They say, this message is from the Lord, even though the Lord never sent them. And yet they expect him to fulfill their prophecies. Can your visions be anything but false if you claim this message is from the Lord when I have not even spoken to you? I'm thinking now, this has nothing to do with who you voted for president. That's not what I'm concerned about. But there were many pastors on TV who predicted that Trump would win. And he didn't. Now, some will say, well, the election was rigged. Well, God can work through a rigged election. If God wants somebody to be president, they're going to be president. So, you can't use that as an excuse afterwards. God would have foreseen that. And if God was actually speaking to them, what they said would have happened. It would have come true, but it didn't. And so every one of those people that said that, if you're watching a television show and they said that, they are, in fact, a false prophet and should not be listened to for anything else. When I was a kid, Hal Lindsey scared me to death. I went to a big meeting out in the open air when I was in college, and he was saying that I think the world was going to end in like 1984 or something, and Jesus was going to return then, and so we better get our affairs in order. Well, 1984 came and went. As far as I could tell, Jesus never showed up. Hal Lindsey is a false prophet and should not be listened to any longer. He lied. He said he got a word from the Lord. He got no word from the Lord. Anybody who gets up and says they know what's going to happen, and then it doesn't happen, you should cross off your list and not listen to them. Because just like it says here, they have done nothing to repair the breaks in the walls. A lot of these people are all about, making, trying to get the nation back to God. But they haven't done anything to repair the breaks in the walls if what they're preaching is false prophecies. And here's the other thing I want you to think about, and that is most of these TV evangelists are not preaching the gospel. And here's how you know how. This is how you know whether they're preaching the gospel or not. When they focus on a text, if after they focus on a text, they go to what you need to do, that's not the gospel. Because the gospel is about what God does and what Jesus Christ has done. It's not about what you need to do. Because what you need to do, according to the gospel, is trust the Lord and believe in the Lord and look to the Lord for all of your answers. To look to the Lord for changing your heart, not you. I know of a situation where people are having trouble with forgiveness. And believe me, I understand why they're having trouble. It's a horrible situation. And I want to tell them that there is no way they can forgive. That forgiveness isn't possible. for the horrible things that have happened to them. But what they need to do is to let go and ask God to create in them the forgiveness they need for this situation. You see, it's all about God. It's not about you. And if a sermon says there's 5 things you need to do to find peace with God, or 5 things you need to do to be more loving, well, that's not the gospel. The gospel is Jesus Christ works within you and makes these things happen because of the power of God, not because of the power of you. I hope this helps. And I hope you can let go of all of your needs to try and be better. And instead, just throw yourself in the arms of God and say, Lord, if you want me to be better. Thank you for listening, and God bless. I hope you have a wonderful day. Trust in the Lord and not in yourself. That's a good prophecy. That'll never go wrong. God bless.